What is going on YouTube? We are back past the prop. We got some basketball to cover today. I know you just saw us a couple days ago talking baseball, but we're back here on the NBA college basketball streets. It's a good day. So, Stu, how we doing, man? Heading into another slate here.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Like you said, baseball Monday, we're back to our regular jam over here in the NBA. But if you do want to check out some MLB futures, we had the best in the business, John Legeza, on. We talked for like an hour 15, something like that. So that was definitely good evergreen content that you can check out before the MLB season starts. So definitely go check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, good slate today. It's been a pretty good week for me, NBA so far. Definitely excited to keep it going. My Wizards are back on the slate. That's always good for me. It means I can get some degenerate, like Johnny Davis bets in or something like that. So it should be a good one today. Still waiting on some lines, a lot of injury stuff up in the air, but I think we got you guys covered with some good picks for today.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad slate. I could go without the amount of back-to-backs that we've been seeing lately. There have been a lot more in the second half of the season, obviously, trying to make sure everything matches up. But, yeah, these back-to-backs kind of kill me, man. They kind of scare me off a little bit. But, hey, we're here, got a good slate, got some high totals, and some good matchups tonight. So, as always, guys, hit that like button if you could. Help us out. We got 780 guys in here in the first minute and a half. We appreciate you jumping in right away and being ready to get after it. So, obviously, no recap to talk about here. We just came off of our MLB show, so we're going to have to wait a little while before we can talk about that. But actually, we can go back. I don't think we talked about it with John. We can go back all the way to, what was that? Last Friday? And we had, I believe, Kuminga crushed, right? Kuminga got there?
He did. He crushed any number you got it at.
I believe I saw him at 8. I know a lot of you guys were talking 18 and a half. And that one even cashed there as well. So that was good. I believe Joe Val, I saw his first quarter. He had like 18, 19. And then minutes were so low, but still went crazy on Indy.
Yeah, no, that was obviously the community bummer of the day. The whole world had the Joe Val real early and then kind of let everyone down. But solid 1-1 day last Friday.
Yeah, I think mine was 1-1 as well. Luka was probably the easiest bet of my life. I bet on this 7 straight games. I bet on rebounds, assists. I mean, if Terrence or any of my guys that are in my group are in here, I've sent out rebounds, assists every time because they won't move it up, bro. I got an 18 and a half last night. The dude was in foul trouble and scored 39 points and still got his rebounds, assists, man. This dude, I don't understand these books. How are you not giving it at 20 and a half? You know this dude's pushing for those trip dubs, man. How are you? I love it. Absolutely love it. And bet Kobe White on the wrong day. I believe he had 25. Just didn't do anything in the first half. And I did bet on Kobe White in his last game where he went for his career high. But again, didn't shoot the ball for the first 7 minutes of that game. His whole first rotation, he did not shoot, which is just, it's weird how he just doesn't do anything. And then all of a sudden, all right, we're going to go. It was just very weird to me and might be something going forward. Might just be looking at his first quarter unders. The dude just doesn't shoot. And it baffles me. And the only reason he went over in that last game was because the dude was super hyper efficient, driving and dunking, getting threes and shot like 80% from three. Got a lot of paint shots. So it'll be good here. I'm looking forward to continuing to bet on Kobe White in that 40 minutes a game, dude.
Yeah, this one was rough with just the slow start, but even he still gave you a sweat. And like you said, that's what happens when you play 40 a game. And that's even why you can't bet the first quarter unders if he's playing 12 minutes in the first quarter. It's it makes it so hard when the volume is just so consistently good. And I mean, we look at the Bulls, even a guy like, Io is now up to 15 and a half points for the full game. They're asking a lot from, a lot of unknown or a lot of, less proven scorers right now. So definitely going to be back on the Kobe White train, maybe even tonight, honestly. Make sure you follow on Twitter. We might both be on some Kobe White later.
Yeah, I might be playing him in DFS because this will be my first time popping back over in DFS NBA streets in a little bit. Just been hammering MLB best balls on DraftKings and golf. Obviously starts tomorrow, so I'll be ready for golf. I'll be ready to go, but that's a different story. But I've been hitting those best balls, trying to get everything kind of locked in there. But I want to give a quick shout out from watching Bulls game in the last game to to Alex Caruso to probably being the worst offensive player I've ever seen in the NBA history. It was so bad. They were leaving him 10 feet to shoot the ball, and he kept shooting. I'm like, stop shooting. Just dribble, bro. Just dribble. 0 for 10, 0 for 7 from 3. It was hilarious, dude. They weren't even going out and trying to guard this guy. There's like, and the reason I brought this up was I saw somebody on Twitter say, I don't know if you saw his tweet. Where Caruso's like, "Oh, you should have bet my under." I'm like, "No, dude, you shot 13 times. You got 3 points, bro. Like everything you could say was right. He probably was talking about all the volume, all the minutes. You got every opportunity in the world. I just love how he put you should have bet the under. I'm like, or you should just make an open shot, bro. Like, 0 for 10 to start the game, 0 for 7 from 3, and I literally saw Caruso tweet that. I'm like, wow, dude, what the fuck? I was not expecting a response to something like that, but hey, you had to get after it, I guess.
Oh, he was going for it. No, he must have been getting slammed because that was one of the most popular plays of the day as well. Because his points was like 7.5 or like something insanely low, and then I think he took 7 shots, like you said, in the first quarter alone. I think it was like 0 for 7 or something. But hey, as someone that I got to watch everyone kind of melt down over there, do you know what he cashed in the first half of that game? His steals plus blocks, baby. That was our biggest play of the day. So just goes to show you, I get a lot of questions about like. I like to play a guy at what he does best. And if Alex Caruso is going to play 37 minutes, why are we betting his points? Why are we betting his assists? He's out there to go play defense, and he's one of the best in the world. So I'm going to go bet him to play defense. Got the job done, and we might be doing it again. Who knows?
Yes, sir. Saw a lot of you guys jumping in here as we've been talking about our last slate. 30 live viewers here in the first 7 minutes. Thank you guys so much. We got questions. Huge slate. Whether it's crossing to college, whether it's NBA, whatever you got, drop them in the chat. We'll try our best to get to everything there. Obviously, we see Dan in here, first guy in the chat. Let's go. I've got my Luka MVP futures. I mean, that's got to be damn near even money at this point, dude. I think that those numbers that he's been putting up, even if they just make the playoffs, bro, like even if they're like a 5 seed, right? I mean, that's still impressive with the rest of the team around you. PJ Washington's your third option, bro. Like, that's crazy. And he's still putting up the numbers that he's putting up. I mean, crazy, absolutely nuts. And let's talk about this slate. We got a good basketball slate tonight across, like I said, both NBA and college. I'm only going to have one NBA spot here tonight. Stu, we got a nice slate. A couple back-to-backs coming along, but we got an 8-gamer. What games catching your eye tonight?
Yeah, I mean, there's actually a lot of good ones today, surprisingly. I think for me, it's probably got to be Bucks Warriors. I mean, that's like the prime time. That's the ESPN one, the big deal, obviously. But we actually have the Warriors like fully healthy for the first time since I can remember. Wiggins is going to be back. Pods is going to be back. Mix that in. They're going to be rolling like a 13-man rotation tonight. You know what I mean? Lester Quinones is sneaking in. That one guy that played lacrosse professionally is sneaking in. Like, this team is kind of insane. So there's going to be value there somewhere or another. Hopefully watching that game will give us a little bit of insight. And then the other side, you got a Bucks team who they've been kind of, as you know, like the talk of the town with the Rivers starting a little rough, turning it around, the defense playing a little bit better. So I'm just very curious to see how those two teams kind of match up. My initial lean would be the Bucks take care of business. I think that line 4.5 is what I see is a little lower. I would maybe think a 6, something like that. So I'm curious if the Warriors can, put everything together and that young crowded team, somebody can stand out tonight. So definitely that one in the West Coast or East Coast.
I mean, it's in Golden State. If Giannis plays, dude, I think they win by 20, bro. I think they 20 ball these dudes.
Yeah.
They have no paint presence, and you have a Giannis who didn't play last game, and they beat the Clippers, bro. They beat the Clippers with no Giannis. Also, let me get my rant in here before we get going, before I get my game. Why is Brook Lopez playing more minutes than fucking Bobby Portis, bro? Like, what are we doing, bro? Like, I get Brooks blocking shots, but his offensive game is garbage, bro. And we have Dame to shoot those outside shots. When Middleton comes back in, we have him to shoot those outside shots. I'm tired of watching Brook pull from 30 and just brick this thing, dude. Bobby goes in 10 minutes in the first half, goes for 10 and 6. Then they're like, oh, Brook kind of sucks right now. Let's play him. And we're going to play Bobby a little bit more. Brook goes for like 25 and 18. It's like so good per minute basis for Bobby P. Always Love watching him play. I think what I want to do, I want to watch the Jazz Bulls, baby. I don't give a shit. I want to bet on Jazz Bulls. That's where I want to be. I told you I have my 3-week best ball lineup going here. I have so much exposure to Kobe White, Vucevic, and Colin Sexton. It is nauseating. But shout out to those three for putting me in first place this week. These dudes they went berserk. I even have one with Vooch and Sangoon with a nice 83 burger last night. Are you serious? Crazy numbers. They play again tonight, back-to-back there. You look across the NBA, we're seeing Cavs on a back-to-back, Houston on that back-to-back. I know we looked at, I believe, the Thunder back-to-back and Lakers back-to-back. So there's a lot of games there. So just make sure you guys are looking at those when you're breaking down your handicaps.
100%. And yeah, that's going to be a fun one, obviously. I think for me, on the Utah side, Keontae George exiting last game with, I believe, illness or something like that.
But that's just stupid, bro. He was sick before the game. They played him, and then he got
exactly that kind of stuff. I'm like, please don't happen again today. That would be one of those things that would kind of be brutal there. But I agree. I mean, a fast-paced team like that, especially. You talked about Sexton too. I'm curious who they lean on if Sexton does have that rougher game right here, because this is a tougher matchup for guards in general on the Chicago side. And who outside of guards can score for this team with the injuries they have right now? John Collins, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Is it going to be a Somaliak, or is that guy's name, something like that? Because obviously no Laurie, no Kessler, it's going to be an interesting one. So I agree. All these West Coast teams, all these games after 9 p.m. are going to be very, very good tonight.
Yeah, it should be a fun one to watch across the board. But Stu, you got 2 plays. We got 25 people in here ready to go. I'll kick it over to you. We were talking about this game a little bit earlier. I'll let you just start off with that one, and then we'll get into it. Let's do it.
Sounds good. Yeah, we're going a little juicier here, which is not something we love to do as much, but I do think the juice is worth the squeeze right here. We're risking 1 unit, Alex Caruso over 2.5 steals and blocks, -150. I've been playing this fun game where I hit it at 2.5, and then it moves to 3.5, and then I don't bet it. And then we wait, and it comes back to 2.5 again, and we bet it. And we've got it back at 2.5. I don't know how much longer it's going to stick here. But frankly, Alex Caruso really shouldn't be at this number. One, even if you just play the odds game, right? You look at it right now on FanDuel. For 2 steals, he's -130. For 1 block, he's -270. So when you do that math and you combine it together, right, I'm already comfortable in him getting 2 steals, right? So the question is, would I pay the -130 for the 2 steals, or then go up to the -150 here on DraftKings and pay the extra 20 cents for a block, which is priced at -270 across the board? So I like the odds value off the top of the head. I know you're thinking Alex Caruso block. It's the same kind of thing as Derek White. These exceptional on-ball point-of-attack guard defenders are getting after it in the block game. And while Alex Caruso maybe doesn't seem like a guy that should be 270 for a block, he's that for a reason, right? This kind of consistency he's shown over time is great, especially when you look at a matchup where he's going to be on ball against guards all game, right? It's going to be Sexton. It's going to be Clarkson, it's going to be George. They have a plethora of on-ball guards that are going to attack the rim, be aggressive, and it's going to give Caruso more reps, right, to get these steals and blocks. It's why I was just on it the other day against De'Aaron Fox, right? It's not like that's a fantastic steals matchup. This is a better one with a younger team, but I know we're going to get 37 minutes of on-ball defense or 34 minutes of on-ball defense against an elite guard, and with a guy like Caruso, I'll take that. The reason Caruso misses this, when you look through the game logs, you see he'll go 4, 4, 4, and then 1 steal. What happened there? It's because they went the double big lineup. That's the reason he misses this. They can't do that here, one, because this team, Utah, doesn't have any bigs. They're all injured, right? So it's going to be one of those guard-heavy matchups. I think both teams are going to lean very heavily. We already know Chicago does, with Ayo joining the lineup as well, very small wing, Caruso. They're going to match this very well. So for me, in a game where I can get Caruso at this 33-plus minute range against a young guard trio that I think he should have a lot of success in, this number just should be at 3.5. And once again, the way we always talk about combined categories, you want upside in steals and blocks. The fact that he can get this alone in both categories that he has over the last month, that gives me a lot of confidence here. Like I know he can go over with steals alone, and even having those 3-block games over the last couple months is just great to see. So love the combination right here. I know it's a little bit juicy, feel free to tinker with that how you like, but I think stocks gives you the best value here. We're risking 1 unit on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some college basketball games that I really like some of the teams that I really like to win, and they're really big juice dudes. I'll play around with them and get back to you while you're picking up your second play, kind of figure out like a team that I would throw that with over on DraftKings there. So obviously I like Caruso. Dude, I don't know if you saw this, but Vucevic got in foul trouble last game, and they had no problem just running small. Yep. Right in that game against the Kings there. And they came back with that lineup. Vooch only played 32 minutes. Tonight, I think Vooch goes crazy. I actually really like Vooch tonight. I don't know who's going to guard him. I really don't know who's going to guard him on Utah's side there. But, like, if you're going to give me John Collins, you're going to give me 38 minutes of him with John Collins on him, man. Like, how do I not go there? Like, how do I not bet on him? So I think he's a guy that has come up a lot for me over these last couple games. But it was kind of weird to see that they were willing to just go no bigs because Drummond kept fouling. They went small, and they ended up beating them because, my God, Kings suck, bro. They are terrible. Like, that is awful. Like, I love the Kings, too. I loved them last year. They are god-awful, bro. They're – like, that second half might have been the worst half of basketball I have ever watched from any team with a competent team. Like, with like, team that's not bottom of the barrel. Awful.
Yeah, I remember I watched him play the Celtics earlier in this year in the first half, and I just went, like, I want them to win, but it's not happening. And you kind of see it when they play the good team. So we'll see what happens with them next year. Hopefully they can add a piece or two because we want them to succeed. The league is more fun when those guys are just sprinting up and down the court in the playoffs.
Yes, sir. And I will be rolling with my only play of the day, plus 100 here on FanDuel. I got this at. It's Jalen Johnson, 8 rebounds with AD 12. I know having a 12 rebound number at minus 220 is a little absurd, but in this matchup, I think it's very warranted, right? You have a matchup with Sabonis in his career. He's played Sabonis 3 times when he's been on the Lakers. He's hit that twice. One of those, he was in foul trouble and only scored 9 points in that game. So don't really look into that one as much. Obviously, less minutes there. But and you just look at AD's numbers here, man, like, in these games where he's playing heavy minutes, right? These games that are close, he's playing 36, 40 minutes in some of these competitive games, right? Everybody's going to talk about LeBron. Obviously, he's getting all these milestone stuff, but AD is by far the thing that's making this team go right now because they can just hand it to him at any point and he can get a bucket. He can stop anybody driving to the paint in a second. This dude is blocking shots. I know everybody's on the Wemby craze, and it should be, right? It should be, but when you watch AD out there, dude, he's still doing it. He's been doing it for a long time. So, obviously, really like AD tonight. You want to look at numbers here. He's hit this in 6 of his last 7 games. Only one he missed was against Jokic, where he grabbed 11. And now you have Sabonis, where he's going to be under the hoop. You guys know I like to look at distance of rebounds. AD at 4.6, and he's going to be matching up with the guy who's number 2 in rebounding chances over the last 10 games. And he's only 4.5 feet of distance from the hoop when Sabonis is grabbing his. So I think he'd be standing under there. I wouldn't be surprised to see him grabbing 16. I wouldn't be surprised him going off on Sabonis tonight, just absolutely cooking him. I love AD tonight. I've been betting him way too much. I think almost every Lakers game he's been in my portfolio of bets. Going to Jalen Johnson, obviously not going to have the same type of numbers as AD just because he's not even a center. With the rebounding numbers, though, you'd be surprised that he's not a center because he's around 15 rebounding chances over the last 10 games. He's got a good matchup here tonight as well. Lower totals, which is what I kind of like, right? When you have those lower totals, a lot of missed shots. But also, Jalen Johnson's going to be playing 36-plus every game. They don't have any other options here, right? You got Bogey on the outside to shoot. Jalen Johnson's got to pretty much be that post 2 now without Okongwu ready to go in there anymore. But we've seen him have awful shooting games, right? We've seen him against Brooklyn go 3 for 12, 7 points, 9 boards, gets us there. Seen him in the game where they got beat by 30 by Brooklyn when he went 14 points. That's the only game over his last 7 where he has missed this number when they got 30-pieced by Brooklyn. I expect Jalen Johnson out on the court, like I said, 35 to 39 minutes. I like these teams that do kind of play defense so he can actually kind of, miss some shots. And obviously the Cavs are coming off of a tough game. So I think that helps keep this game closer, because if this is a fully healthy Cavs team, I think they blow this team out of the water. But coming off a long game last night, close game, travel spot all the way down to Atlanta, I think this game stays a little bit closer than I would expect it to if both teams were healthy and rested. But might not see Donovan Mitchell. You might not see Strus again, right? Might not even see Evan Mobley tonight, right? Because he got hurt last night.
He's out.
So, man, this is a depleted team on both sides. You're going to see maybe some scrubs out there, but they're going to run out some of those best guys in Jalen Johnson. You're going to see Garland getting heavy minutes tonight, and you're going to see Jared Allen getting heavy minutes tonight. And I'm hoping we just see some long rebounds and just watching Mr. Capella just body down there with Jared Allen and get those long rebounds heading out to Jalen Johnson. So love both spots, love both guys. I bet on them separately as well, but I think this spot at plus money kind of stood out to me.
Yeah, I completely agree. I like this a lot. I think buying down rebounds can be really one of the most meaningful, categories to buy down in general if you're doing it smart, obviously. And I think you nailed the AD stuff. And Johnson makes a ton of sense here. You kind of mentioned it. Outside of Capella, it's like Fernando. You know what I mean? They're going really deep into the bench right there. Bay is an undersized forward. It's just one of those things. And it's two tired teams that just trekked it out with tough matchups. Like you said, no Mitchell. It's going to be no Mobley, who was just ruled out a second ago.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I just got a bunch of messages. I didn't have my phone ready to look at that.
So I think like LeVert and Strus are up in the air, but it should be a grinded out game, and I think that's a great opportunity for Johnson to get another double here. So, I mean, I really, you talked me into this one. I definitely like the combo a lot, especially at plus money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, these rebounding ones where you buy down definitely. A good spot here. It is Montana. You are a smart man. We are about to talk about that in a second here. Stu, you got a second play for us. I will let you take it away. We got our guy Montana already talking about it. Let's do it.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can play SGA tonight. Obviously, one of the best spots on the slate. For me, this has been the way I've played him every single game against Portland, and it hasn't failed, so we're going to keep on doing it right here. We're going SGA 9 first quarter points, a steal, and then OKC to win the game. That is minus 120 over on DraftKings Sportsbook. The thing is, SGA first quarter points right now is 10.5. And it's not that I hate that number, but every point matters so much just in general. In the full NBA, you can think how many times you've gotten hooked. Now imagine that in a much smaller sample size just in the first quarter, right? Every point really matters so much more. So I think it's extremely valuable to buy down from 11 to 9 right here, which obviously saves you a bucket. And gets you into a great hit rate, right? Because he's hit this 9 in every single game against them so far this season. He's obviously been one of the most consistent guys in the steals department all year long. And then you get them, obviously, in a great matchup against a Portland team who's down half of their team, right? I mean, it's insane. The rotations there, I mean, even guys that we'd never heard of, like rookies before the season, those guys are out now. And now we're going to the depths of the bench. Jabari Walker, a guy you're going to have to lead on for a lot of minutes. To me, it seems like a clear-cut game where the Thunder get ahead and the Thunder crush and the Thunder take care of business, right? And in those kind of games, SGA gets it going in the first quarter because he's playing the full 12 minutes, right? No matter what, that is his workload game in and game out. He has one of the best first quarter workloads in the league. So he's going to get to business. He's going to take – I mean, this is a bit terrible rim protecting team. No matter whether it's A&I, he's in the injury report. I don't think he plays. But it's a terrible rim protecting team. So for me, I love SGA in a great matchup where I don't want to have to worry about blowout. I don't have to want to worry about when he's at 28 minutes or at 28 points, right? And the fourth quarter is about to start. I don't want to have to worry if he's going to go out there or not. So I'm just going to go where he takes care of business the most. For me, SGA and Anthony Edwards are the two guys you want to look to. When their team is a 10-point favorite, when they're ahead by a lot, they get in, they get out, they take care of business early. Love SGA doing what he does best here. Get at minus 120 over on DraftKings.
Yeah, and I mean, you could see this game stay a little closer. Shout out to Anthony Simon just deciding he's going to drop a 60 DK burger in that game as a 14-point dog. Just goes berserk with no help. I mean, I think he had 11 assists because they were doubling his ass. Pretty wild stat line for Anthony Simon. Shout out to him for showing up in that last game. This is going to be a tough one, though. probably going to get the Lou Dort treatment because who else is Lou Dort going to guard? I mean, who are you going to put him on? Kamara? Like, that's good. That's the guy you're going to put him on. I mean, Jalen Williams plays good defense as well. I mean, this is a good good guard defending team. So I think that this is going to be a tough spot for them. And SGA's got them long-ass arms, man. And obviously makes it a lot easier for those steals, especially on these point guards. So, Stu, let's recap. We got 35 viewers with us. We usually, like I said, try to keep this around 30 minutes here for our live shows on these NBA ones, especially when it's not like a 14-gamer. And we're not out here breaking down every game. You guys want to get in here. You want to get the props. You want to get out. I know how it is. We did it the same way. We like doing it 3 years in. We know what you guys want at this point. Let's do a recap here, and we'll get to our long shots. You know we got to drop those today.
Sounds good. We're risking 1 unit. Alex Caruso over 2.5 steals and blocks, -150 over on DraftKings. And then we're staying on DraftKings. We're going SGA, 9 first quarter points, a steal, an OKC money line. That is -120 over on DraftKings.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm going to be playing one spot. Jalen Johnson, 8 rebounds. Anthony Davis, 12 rebounds, +100 today. I think this should not be plus money, man. I'll take it to the bank. Stu, what do you got for a long shot? You got anything on the slate here that's kind of sticking out to you for a long shot spot?
Yeah, we're going back to a familiar face. He failed us last time. Buddy Hield, 5 threes, +440 over on FanDuel Sportsbook. Just got that in. There's a couple threes guys I like tonight, and he's the only one that's available right now. Klay Thompson is the other guy we're going to be looking at, and then Sam Merrill.
Merrill.
There we go. Over who's cashed so much for us, baby, on Cleveland. That is the other 2 guys on our list, but no lines right there yet. So we will go to Buddy Hield. So far, since the All-Star break, Memphis has allowed the 5th most catch-and-shoot threes. They're kind of grimy, slow offense. They're pretty good in the paint, but they are allowing some outside shooting. Once again, Buddy Hield, you're going to give him 9 3-point attempts. I'm going to keep taking this bet. It doesn't matter if the efficiency hasn't been all over the place recently. They're playing small ball lineups. They're going heavy with the Lowry, with the Payne. These guys aren't scorers. They're driving and kicking. They're looking for their outside shooters. And like I said, like Mo Bamba's been like awful. Like guys that would take away these catch and shoot opportunities from him have all been pretty bad. So I think we're just going to keep seeing it. Maxey is questionable.
I think he might have been out, right? Did he get ruled out?
I saw he was questionable with all the things I was reading saying he wasn't going to play. So I felt good about that. But if he's out
today,
awesome. Well, even better. So absolutely love this opportunity right here. So yeah, keep on knocking down those threes from Buddy Hield.
And one of the biggest things I do like as well is they listed him out, and then they're obviously going to be resting Mr. Kyle Lowry's old ass. That's an extra couple minutes, man. It means he might be running that point spot, right? We could be seeing him get out there, just having more chances with the ball in his hands. Obviously, something that you got to have when you're trying to put up numbers like this and you're trying to get to that, plus 400, plus 500 numbers. You got to do it like that. So you're rolling with Buddy Hield, probably an auxiliary spot on this team when everybody's healthy. I'm going to the number 1 option, bro. We're going to Great Osabor. We're going back out to Utah State. We're going college basketball here. Love his regular points, rebounds, assist line. I absolutely loved it today. He is probably facing a bottom 5 power conference team. Just like teams that I like to bet on, right? And these Mountain West teams. This is probably the worst team I've seen in a very long time. This San Jose State team is awful. And he obviously, first matchup, you want to look at the first matchup. Dude went for 31 actual points. 31 points in that game. But also what we've been seeing lately, we saw a tough matchup, San Diego State. Dude only scored 17 points. Had 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Big boy is passing out of the high post, right? He is coming off of the worst game of the season. The absolute worst game of the season. I think that you're going to start seeing him go crazy because he faced Air Force a couple of months back, went for 32, 9, and 4 in that game. Last game, he played that same Air Force team. Shot the ball 6 times. 6 times. 2 free throws. 6 points. The lowest output of the season. He is going to nuke these dudes. Absolutely crush these dudes. There's no one in the paint to stop him. We've seen a guy that I do like to back a lot as well that is kind of similar to him. I don't know if he is as important to his team, and that is Mr. Jaden Ledee. right? Jaden Ledee, a guy I like to back from San Diego State, absolute stud. Let's take a look at him, kind of in that similar role. 27-11 in his matchup with San Jose State a couple games ago. Go back to his first one, 31-10 in the game before that. Those two are the two bigs I love in this conference. Great Osabor and Jaden Ledee, both of them kind of playing in that similar type of role where you're pretty much everything, right? Obviously, Ledee is, I would say, a little bit more important just because he's got to be a rim protector as well. But my God, dude, I think he absolutely nukes these guys. And there is no one on San Jose State who is going to come even close to stopping Osabor from doing what he wants.
Hell yeah. I mean, this is one of the few guys that I actually know just because he's cashed me tickets already. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a rememberable or an easy to remember name as well. So this guy's been good to me. And once again, you said it, I love guys that can give you upside in multiple categories, right? Not just having to rely on the scoring, but maybe we also get a good rebounding, a good passing output that just gets you over the bump. So definitely like this. I know this guy's had some pretty crazy stat lines so far this season. Hopefully we get another 30 bump tonight. I'm definitely telling you on this one.
Beautiful. Before we get out of here, Stu, I do want to bring up, I did take a look. Your spots at minus 150. I'm thinking about laying 15 points with Merrimack tonight. I think they're minus 14.5. It's like minus 1,200. Brings you down to like minus 125 for Caruso. I obviously we want Caruso to do most of the work. If I get minus 125, I think Merrimack smacks these boys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've watched this team, not Merrimack play. I've watched I think it's Long Island they're playing. That might be the worst team in college basketball. Like, straight up. That team is fucking bad. So if I'm thinking about laying 15 and I only need them to win here for you to get an extra 25 cents and not lay that minus 150, getting it down to like minus 125, that might be a spot because, dude, I think that they absolutely murder those boys tonight because those guys are pissed, bro. I don't know if you remember, but the team that beat Purdue, right? You know, the team that beat Purdue last year, shouldn't have even made it, bro. Merrimack just wasn't able to make it to the NCAA tournament because they switched up the conferences. This is the team that won the regular season. Is Merrimack. So just shout out to them. Obviously, that sucks because they obviously didn't get a chance to go to the tournament. And maybe Purdue would have won the whole thing. You never know, just because Merrimack couldn't make the tournament there. So just a little bit of hype stuff here. I think they run through this conference tournament here. I think they do a really good job and show out. So just a quick little tidbit that I want to throw out there, minus 125 versus the minus 150. If you want to throw that on there, I think that is a great spot against, like I said, probably one of the worst, if not the worst teams in college basketball.
Sounds good. Yeah. I mean, it's that time of year. We got some crazy. I don't even recognize half the teams in this tournament. I'm like looking like St. Francis, PA, and Central. Like, who even are these teams? I don't know. But I know you know them. So I'll take that and I'll definitely run with it.
One last thing I want to talk about before we head out. Got 30 of you guys in here live, still 30 minutes in. Thank you guys. Hit that like button if you could. Stu, we just saw Keontae George ruled out, right? So we got Utah. Who are you looking to right now? We have a game that is gross. You have good defensive players against them in the guard spot. Jordan Clarkson, Sexton. You have no Taylor Hendricks today as well. So we might be seeing Sensabaugh get a start. Is there a guy that you might be looking at here as some value? Luka Samanic, I think, is on this team now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, THT could even get more involved. Johnny Juzang. Like, they got a lot. They play a lot of guys. It's kind of crazy. Juzang, like 20 minutes last game against Washington. I think Clarkson, right? I mean, because it's tough because I want to, I normally against Chicago, just stay away from the guards. Like, but you actually can't right now with the options. Because like you said, not even Hendricks. So it's Smoliak, who I don't want to play that guy. Absolutely not. And then it's Yurtseven and Sensabaugh. And Sensabaugh is a very raw prospect. He's barely out of the G League, right? So that's a guy that would scare me. It's like, who does the rebounding? Is John Collins rebounding hammer going to be a thing just because no one else is down there to rebound? I don't know. That's an ugly one. Like, that's one of the tougher ones. But THT, I think, is a name to look out for to sneak in some more minutes, like a PRA. He kind of does, the rebounding and assisting pretty well too. That's one I'll probably look out for. And maybe some Collins rebounds just because desperation. I don't know who else is going to do it.
Yeah, and if your Savant's going to be out there, he's a post guy, dude. Like, he's not going to be able to get out there on Vooch very well out there. So maybe another spot where you look at Vucevic threes, right? And we saw Kobe White attacking the hoop a little more than usual. So just another thing. I just saw that pop up. Wanted to make sure we get that in here, especially when we come live at noon Central Time, 1 Eastern. So obviously a lot more news probably coming out. We pretty much have the whole 76ers lineup sitting out. We pretty much have the entire Utah lineup sitting out. I'm sure we'll see more injuries come around with all of these back-to-backs. But good stuff. Obviously happy to get through it. Again, our long shots. Our buddy healed 440 for 5 threes. And we're going great Osabor, going 35 points, rebounds, assists, plus 360. So anything else for the people before we head out here? Pretty nice slate across the board.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have some more ads. Make sure to go follow over on Twitter if you want all of my NBA action. Been pretty good. I think it should just keep on heating up right here. So I'm ready to get into it. Just waiting for some more spots to drop. You guys know the deal if you've been around here for a while. That's how the NBA is. I have no control over when these lines drops. What I can control is when they post them, I'll be ready as well. I'll be posting on Twitter. So if you want all that, notifications, Discord, all that kind of stuff, it's all free and we're winning a lot of bets. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, past the prop, we will be right here, same spot, same time on Friday, breaking down all of the plays, hopefully with a very positive recap as well.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Obviously, big slate. We are into March. March Madness is here, baby. Excited for it. Just dropped my YouTube play of the day. Didn't want to do it on here because we're digging now. I don't like playing these last couple games of the conference season unless they mean something. A lot of teams have given up. A lot of teams don't need to move much in their conference tournament rankings. So there's not. We would have been digging. I do have one spot though that I do really like. So make sure you go check that out. 5-0 run on those. Let's go for 6-0 today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back Friday for another round past the prop NBA. And hopefully coming at you guys with some winners. So have a good one, guys. And we'll see you Friday.